Tea people. I hope you are having an amazing evening, night, morning, uh, all of that stuff, wherever in the world you happen to be. I guess Europeans are still hopefully sleeping well, or if they're working the night shift, they're having a wonderful time on the night shift. Today I've got some stuff from Ming Jian that I probably will not buy. Mostly because I am doing I am not doing a lot of sales right now, as you could possibly imagine. That being said, I am 100% absolutely going to be releasing teas this weekend. So this weekend, there will be teas released. And I didn't bring my scissors, but that's okay. So there will be teas released this weekend. There will be the white, so the Alpine White, the Alpine Honey Red, the Alpine Honey Fall, and the Fall Pear Mountain. And last month's, oh, this looks pretty good. Last month's mystery tea was a Buddha's Hand mystery tea. And I probably, we'll see how much time I've got this week. What's today? Today is Wednesday. Yeah, so I'll probably release that one as well. And that's a really unique one. It's kind of fun. It's not for everybody though. It's a expert tea. It's a deeper tea. But if you got the subscription box last month, then that's the tea that was the mystery tea for that. The subscription box this month is packed. And I've sent emails out to all the wonderful American people. And your subscription box is packed and ready to go. And hopefully, less than $100 marked as gift will be sent to you. And whenever that opens up again. And what kind of sucks right now is that there's still no talk of it anywhere. Right? There's still no talk that basically half the world is not sending packages to the United States. You know, it's half the world and over half the world. I think most of the world at this point, and there's still no talk of it anywhere. I can't hear. I haven't heard. There's one thing that showed up on like the mainstream press, the BBC and CNN and all of the alphabet agencies that showed up, and then it disappeared. So I think it's what's going to happen is what I talked about before, is that this will go on for a little bit of a while until Americans, if you're an American listening, until you get pissed off and you start talking about it and making a ruckus until there's pain, and pain enough that people will start making a ruckus about it, and hopefully then it'll get changed. And until then, I don't think there's much we can do, unfortunately. Until then, I don't think there's much we can do. Just because it's so, it's just so over the top. It's so insane. The tariff thing for the United States is so insane. It's so over the top insane, right? Like, okay, let's have a thought out, really intelligent way of doing this. We'll set it out for 18 months from now, 24 months from now, and we'll do it slowly. We'll do it right. And then they said, no, screw all you guys. We're just gonna. Anyways, let's look at the teas, and then I'm gonna ask for some help because I'm trying to think of, other ways to bring in money to keep us going. And it's not like that, right? It's not like it's not like that. You guys want to buy shares? I'm going to launch a cryptocurrency, MST on Solana or something like that. No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm going to have some, I'm hoping that every day I wake up and I'm hoping that they fixed it. But chances are there's still a couple weeks. And so when I'm, after I do the subscription, finish it all up and send it all out, there's not much for me to do because there's not very many orders coming in. So I'm looking for ideas. I'm looking for ideas on things that I can do that people might enjoy. And so maybe you guys can help me out with some of those ideas. Anyways, let's get to the teas. Let's talk about the teas, and then we'll see how they go as the teas move through. Now, what this is from my buddy Ming Jen. These are teas that were done sort of in the fall, or sort of like in the recent time period. And so they're darker teas. Although this one over here, actually, why don't I try this one first, just because I'm curious about it. This one over here is actually a Bashan. This is a 3 Shades of Bashan Oolong. And anyways, I went through, well, we won't talk about that. There's no use in talking about that. But I'm going to add more hot water to it and see what happens. This is the 3 Shades of Bashan. Very, very, very small batch. I mean, this is like, it's only a couple of kilograms of this made. A Ruby 18. And then this one is a Wooey Red Oolong. And so his Wooey Red Oolong is actually like a really nice red oolong. And we'll see how this one goes. Right now, I am not buying very much tea, right? So I bought the Fall Pear Mountain, and I bought the why is it called 3 Shades? We'll talk about that in a second. I bought the Fall Pear Mountain, and I bought a fall from, actually I called it Alpine Fall Honey because it's a bug bitten fall tea from my buddy up on a new friend of mine up on Chilai Shan, and it's an organic fall pick tea. And I bought those teas. I bought the Alpine Honey Red and the Alpine White from this this fellow, because they're awesome. They're just great teas. And but I haven't been buying a lot of teas, and obviously you probably figure out why I'm not outlaying a lot of upfront costs right now. But fear not, there are new teas, and there will be new teas coming after these ones. This is also sort of, thankfully, a lower area, so or a lower production time period. So here we go. We have, why is this one called 3 Shades? This one is called 3 Shades for a very important reason. It's a Bashan. So Bashan is not grown in Taiwan basically at all, right? That's the 8 Immortals. It's a tea that's usually done into, damn, I forget the name. I'm drawing a blank on the type of tea that it's usually made into. What? Come on, throw it out there. What is? Why am I drawing a blank? Anyway, so the 8 Immortals is usually turned into this type of tea. Dankong, yes, that's it. Exactly. Sorry, because it's just basically not done in Taiwan. And this is sort of a Taiwanese Dankong-y style. And so why I've called it 3 Shades over the course of my having it on the site is because it's not really a green tea. It's not a white tea. It's not an oolong tea. But it has the flavor characteristics of all those teas put together. And actually, if you take a look at the dry leaves when they're done well, you can see that the 3 Shades are actually in the leaves as well. And so you have sort of a white tea, a green tea, and a white tea, a green tea, and a, you can see here that, you can sort of see, you can see the colors there. So a white tea, a green tea, and an oolong tea sort of colors going on with the tea there. So that's why I've called it 3 Shades in the past, is because it has those 3 different flavor characteristics. Chilai Shan stuff has been really wonderful recently. Well, yeah, and it's I'm realizing more and more that the Chilai guys, right? So you got the Chilai Black, which is from a different garden, as all of these. I'm calling them Alpine because it's a Chilai, but it's from a different garden. We'll talk about that in a second. What's going on with this one? And so, because it's from a different garden, I call it Alpine, just to separate the two. But I'm realizing more and more that the Chilai Shan area, so like Chilai, the Chilai Shan area, is actually the Chilai Shan area is actually, they're trying harder and they're taking more risks because they're trying to grow up the Chilai Shan area to be like the new spot for creating really interesting teas. And the Chilaishan area doesn't really work very well if you're just doing the normal style of teas. But if you've had the Chilaishan Black, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you go off and you do something a little bit different, it's amazing. The Alpine White is from Chilaishan, right? From the Chilai area. And it's amazing. It's just so good. It's such a good, because it's got depth to it, but it's also light. Anyways, it's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely amazing, spectacular, really, really good. And then the Alpine, and those are 3 teas from the same guy. The Alpine Honey Red is going to be, everybody's going to love that one. It just hits the Western taste point like a bell. Just boom, black tea, honeys, fruits. Like it's beautiful, beautiful. I almost called it like High Mountain Honey Red or something, you know, like high beauty honey red, or I was going to put in the beauty in there because it's bug bitten. But I kept it just as Alpine Honey Red. I think is exactly what I called it. Something like that. Anyways, a mix of those words. And then I just got the fall tea, and the fall tea is bitten by bugs, and they picked it right at the right time. It works really well. And so those 3 teas will be released on the weekend. For, of course, non-Americans. No offense. And who knows? It could be tomorrow. We could wake up and they could be like, hey, shipping's back. Everything's back to normal. Maybe, maybe not. Oh. This is Ruby 18 Black. And usually, I usually get Ruby 18 Black from a very special place, right? It's a very, very special place, the Ruby 18 Black. Very, very special place. Multi-generational farm, a lot of hassle and mafan, trouble, but they're really, really good. 3 Shades is similar to Eight Immortals. I did a comparison, but the aged Eight Immortals I had was a lot sweeter. Well, it's not like the Bashi and the Eight Immortals here. I mean, it's literally called that's the type of tea. They're not going to have the age and the skill that they would have in China to make those teas. So I'm happy to hear that you enjoyed it. But I highly doubt it would ever be as good as the stuff there. Although there's a couple of batches that have been really good. Because this is in a place in Mingjian that's a little bit dry, oftentimes the Ruby 18 that he does isn't all that good. It's too strong, and it's Ruby 18, but it's not that special. But this is it was a wet summer. Like it was a wet, hot summer in Taiwan this year. And you'll be able to see that, eventually our American friends and anybody else who wants it can try out these fall teas on Sunday when I release it. But it was a wet, hot summer, which means that the flavors coming out of the teas are hot. They're hot weather teas. They're hot. And that's kind of fun. It's actually kind of fun. And this is a hot weather Ruby 18. It's got all the really good characters. It doesn't have very much fruit, but it's got Ruby 18's got so many different flavors in it. Depends on the seasons and things. It's actually pretty good. But I've already bought a bunch of Ruby 18, and unfortunately, I'm not splashing out buying a lot of tea right now. Just because we're down. Oh, I don't even want to tell you how much we're down in sales. It's brutal. Absolutely awful. I might have to start selling my physicalness again, going on tea trips, right? So going on tea trips. And I think I'm going to do that anyways. We bought, it's definitely not new, but a new to us car the other day for a decent price for what it is. And so I've got a nice car to take people out for tea trips now. So maybe that's something I'll probably start doing that. But that's another thing. And remember, I wanted to talk about, I need some ideas about things that I can do with my extra little bit of time for the next little while. Now let's go to this one. This last one here is, this is a red Wui Oolong. Now this in the past, I bought this in the past, depends on the season, depends how it's done. And sometimes I think I've called it like chocolate Wui. Sometimes he puts a little touch of a roast on it. Sometimes he does all those different things with it. And anyways, let's try it this time. It smells really, really nice. Yeah, it's pretty good this year. It's pretty good this year. But unfortunately, I don't think this is the real flavor profile that a lot of people are looking for. It's a little bit too lower elevation. Really, really good though. What about selling those birds in the background with the little T inside? Sell about those birds in the background with the little T inside. What's that? I don't get it. Are there birds? There must be birds in the background, right? And oh, there's like a really good Naishang, like a milk flavor in this one actually. It's actually pretty good. I might come back to this one. I might get this one. I don't know whether it's but it's definitely you know, I like it. I like it. Anyways, sorry that the YouTube still has all these stupid things that I can do with my hands to create background things. Slightly funny story. I was looking at so my percentage of teas that I'm selling has dropped basically down to nothing. It's brutal. It's just brutal. It's awful. It's really, really, really bad. But I'm by no means unique, right? Everybody in the world is dealing with the same thing if they were dealing with the American market. And I prepared for this for a very, very long time. So it's like I'm not like, but so I'm starting to look at different areas where I can maybe send tea or different markets and things like that. And I was looking at the Amazon thing. So like what you can do with Amazon is you can send your tea to Amazon and then Amazon will ship it out to other people. And I don't know if I could do that. So I was looking at the reviews of like Amazon, the milk oolongs on Amazon. And the people were giving good, like normal, decent Taiwanese milk oolongs. They were giving them bad reviews because they didn't actually taste like milk. 1 star. I didn't get a milk flavor out of this one. 2 stars. It was a nice tea, but it didn't taste like milk. And I was just like, I don't think I'm going to sell on Amazon. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to sell on it. I don't think I'm going to sell on Amazon. I think that's a different market. I think that's a different market. Although I could put like, this is a milk oolong, but this doesn't taste like milk and explain it to them in big, big things like that. But chances are there would still be some people that would give me bad reviews because it just tasted like grass. There was no milk taste. And I don't think I'm going to put myself through that. I think Eco-Cha maybe did that for a while. Yeah, it sounds like something he might have tried, but stopped. Yeah. It's a different world. I don't think I would want to deal with that world at the moment, but we'll see how it goes. When the doors reopen, I'll buy more Ruby 18. Well, the one that's on that I've got right now is really nice. It's really, really good. It's hot weather Ruby 18. It's really, 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 really good. And I would definitely recommend it. It's great right now. And like I said, with that place where I get the Ruby 18 from, it's such a hassle. I'm like, oh, give me a lot of it. And they're like, I've got to talk to my brother. My brother says no. And then I'm like, okay, if I just order a lot from the website, that's fine. Oh yeah, that's fine. It's just like, Like, anyways, whatever. I was able to buy not a huge amount, but enough, and it'll last for a while. I don't know if the people buying from Amazon are true tea people. Mr. Moose, be careful. Mr. Moose, be careful. We do not belong to a cult here. True people, anything true tea people. We're not using that characteristic, but I would say that the people buying tea from Amazon most likely are doing bulk orders without a lot of reference. So their reference of what good tea is probably very, very narrow. And their expectations are probably very different from the people who are watching a bald middle-aged man sweating, although less, we're getting into the fall, sweating on his back balcony, talking deeply about different types of teas that are extraordinarily interesting and rare and organic. Different expectations, no value judgment. That being said, the value I put on my stress levels, I do not think the cost benefit analysis would be worth it to start selling on Amazon. No. I don't know. Here's a question. Has anybody bought any tea off of TikTok ever? Because I keep getting, like, one time I signed up for TikTok just to look at it. Oh, no. I think I still have a TikTok. So you remember, I don't know if you guys remember the jade, right? So we have a river here that has jade. And so like this here, I use this to hold down my bees. But these are, pieces of jade, right? These are literal, like, pieces of jade. Now, like, you can do something like this, like, watch this. Here, let's do it with tea. Watch this. So you put water on it, and then you can see, like, it's literal beautiful jade, right? It's just so gorgeous. And so I've got a lot of it. Anyways, I was gonna see if my oldest son wanted to start a business where he would sell jade, and so I got a TikTok account, and we started putting posts about finding jade in the river and all that type of stuff, which was actually kind of fun, right? We did that, and so I get these emails every once in a while, actually all the time, from TikTok saying, buy, set up your link your Shopify account to TikTok and blah 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 blah. So, anyways, let's get into it. What else can I do other than the American market? So what else should I be doing right now? I've got some time on my hands. I'm thinking on the Discord, I did a thing. I was like, I'm going to write a book. What do you think I should put in the book? And what came up as the number one response for people that people wanted were deep dives into cultivars and terroirs. But it wasn't deep dives into cultivar and terroirs. What I'm realizing is it was deep dives into the people that make the tea and why the tea is the way it is and why they pick the cultivar and the boop, boop thing all together, telling the good story about it. That's what people wanted, which is fair. I buy tea from Amazon, but specific things. The last thing I bought was a non-smoked yerba mate. Okay, well, there we go. So again, no value judgment, right? no value judgment. And just for the record, all those number one or number two top fan thing, I didn't do that. That's just a thing that comes up. I'm probably going to turn it off unless you guys like it. I don't have TikTok, and I've never bought tea from Amazon either. Well, tea time in Carolina, I am not surprised by that. You are you are a tea connoisseur with very, very high standards, and so I would probably guess that you would not enjoy the quality of the tea that you bought off of TikTok or Amazon. But it's something to think about. I'm thinking, so there's like blog posts. I could write a book. I could do educational videos. So I'm thinking, like, I haven't done like tea 101 videos for a very, very long time. And the way that the AI is set up right now, I could do a tea 101 video and I could fire it out on like 10 or 20 different languages. So I could stick it into French, German, uh, uh, Spanish. Like it would just do it automatically. Just my voice becomes those languages, and I could fire it off to all those different places and stick it up on like Mountain Stream Teas French, Mountain Stream Teas German, and do something like that. I don't know. For the Europeans who might listen to, they're all sleeping now. But if you listen to this later, please let me know if you think that might be a good idea. Probably not, but that might be something. And things like that. So like tea for like tea 101. How do you taste tea? How do you do all that stuff? What's the other ones? The deep dives, telling the stories. So what I could do is tell the stories and start it as sort of blog posts on the site, and then stretch it out eventually into a book, something like that. There has been an idea that I've had for a long period of time, creating basically a TV show about tea. There's the wine shows or the various other shows where they go to the places and do things like that. Right now, I could very easily do that with tea and have people be able to buy the teas directly after meeting the people. But I'm going to need a partner for that. So I need somebody else to partner to do that. I'm thinking also of doing something like offering or doing specific targeted advertisements to countries. So like shipping from here to Singapore is really cheap. So I could do like 10% off your order to Singapore because the shipping's less. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. What do you guys think? What should be some things that I'm doing with my extra time while the deeply dysfunctional American economic progress towards dealing with a generation of balance of payment problems works itself out? Does that work? Is that like speaking truth without hurting people, without being right? I mean, no matter who wins elections in the United States, the balance of payment problems and issues and all that stuff was going to happen. It was going to happen. So it doesn't really matter who was in, but it's deeply dysfunctional and it's working its way through the economy right now. Anyways. So if anybody has ideas about things like that, because I was thinking like, okay, I'll do a book, right? I could definitely do a book. Have to deal with the structure of the book, but I could definitely do the book. Sort of writing some blog posts and things like that. Trying to target various places. Like I said, trying to target various places with advertisements, sort of micro markets. Different languages, like just so years ago, I don't know if you guys remember, but years ago I did all these like really good videos, like what does a grown tea tree look like, what like all sorts of these things. They were like, I hired an editor to do them. They had music to them, and I got like 50 views, 100 views. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like I could keep doing this forever and it could turn into something, but it's not going to happen. But I could definitely repurpose those videos for TikTok. They were sort of jumpy. So I could definitely do that. I could, I don't know. I gotta like write down this list of all the things that I could do. Now this one here, so this is the red Wui, and this is the problem with lower elevation teas. Now, none of these, I don't think I'm going to get any of these teas. They're nice, but I don't think I'm going to get any of these teas. But with lower elevation teas, they just don't last as long because the growth is too fast, right? So why don't lower elevation teas last as many steeps? Basically, they just got less stuff in them. They basically just have less stuff in them. That's just the way it is. And so as it goes, as it as you move through the steeps, they give up their flavors faster and it doesn't last as long. And right now I'm drinking a lot of sort of higher elevation teas, the fall pick teas, because the lower elevation teas, it's really tough to get good lower elevation teas this time of the year. Really, really, really tough. And because they don't last as long, it's really interesting for me because you really taste it. So, for example, the Alpine teas, so the Alpine White, the Alpine Honey Red, the Alpine Fall Honey, they just last forever and ever and ever. You just keep adding water to them, and they just go and go and go and go and go. Same with the Pear Mountain Fall this year. They just go and go and go and go and go. But these guys, they drop off pretty quick. Sort of 1 or 2 steeps in, they're kind of gone. I'll tell you, this is kind of nice, though. I like it. But I have enough Ruby 18 for the moment. So that's basically what we're looking at right now. These seeds are nice, but I'm not going to be bringing them into the store because of a bunch of different reasons. But you know why? You know why? Like, if you're American, and just for the Americans out there, have you noticed a difference? I mean, have people mentioned it, that they can't get things in, that people can't ship? That, I mean, it's only been like 2 days, like since they basically shut down shipping. Well, I guess it's been a week, but 2 days officially. But have you noticed a difference? Has there been people talking about it? I'm curious about that. And what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So I've got time on my hands. So there's various things to do. Anyways, it's right now I've got to sort of figure out what I'm going to do with my free time. Sort of a mix between trying new things, starting new things, putting them out there, which is the creative part of the destruction side of things, and looking for other markets. It's funny. I'm Canadian. I go back to Canada. Have I told this story? I don't think I've told this story. This is a hilarious story. So we went back to Canada, and we were in Canada for like 1 day. And my wife, she's Taiwanese, and we go to this. It was the Butter Tart Festival. So there's all these people selling butter tarts, and there was people doing coffee, and we were jet lagged. So like, let's get a coffee. And there was a coffee that was called Canadiano. And my wife went up and was like, eh? And she said to them, "What's a Canadiano?" And the people behind the stall were so pissed. They were so pissed. And so if I don't have this sort of this generalized angst towards the United States, it's not very Canadian. Like, the Canadians are all really angsty towards the United States for obvious reasons right now. And I don't have that, right? Like, my best tea friends are all Americans, and I make my money selling tea to America. I don't have, I don't. This is not an issue I have with Americans, and I still don't. But that was pretty funny, Canadiano. And then even like Tim Hortons took away Americano. Anyways, whatever. We got a bunch of things when I was telling that story that I thought was hilarious. Anyways, yes, parcels being held up by DHL, crazy fees because they misread the currency amounts. I saw someone get an $8,000 fee on a $200 package. It's just such a self-own. It's hurting people so much. You could YouTube creator channel thing involving members paying a monthly fee, more exclusive content such as D dives and or virtual tea tours or something, or I could take off my shirt and do live stream. No, I don't think I have enough people. Like on the Instagram, there's lots of people who do the who watch it, but on the YouTube, there's not very many people who watch the YouTube. I just sort of do it just because why not? You know, sometimes there's new people that show up, but I don't think that would be a very good thing. And we're definitely. And I don't like it, and I probably won't do it. I don't know what it would take for me to do it, but the idea of having sort of a donation thing for content or something, no, I'm not going to do that because we're okay. You know, like we're okay. I've literally been preparing for something like this for years and years and years. We're okay. And so something like that, I mean, if you want deep dives or something, then tell me about it, right? Virtual tea tours, tell me about it. Then we can do it. Right. I'd be happy to go out into tea gardens and do stuff like that if there's a market for that. But I wouldn't put it behind a paywall or something like that. I'm by no means that special. By no means that special. Some packages seized or pending FDA approval. Really? Thankfully for Taiwanese tea, I don't think that's ever happened for packages. It's happened a bunch of times in Australia, and Australian customs guys are assholes, like just awful. Like they'll open it up and then they'll take a knife and go, shh, and then they'll sprinkle the tea in the package. Be like, yeah, that's tea. Shh. Oh, that's tea. Shh. And sprinkle it all around the package and then send it back to people. I've got these emails like. Why did you cut open the tea? And I'm like, I didn't cut open the tea. Why would I cut open the tea and send you little pieces of tea? Is there a sticker on it, like checked by customs? Always checked by customs. That's happened a couple times in Australia. Oh, there's another market I could go after. I'm the only one mentioning it. I'm the only person who gets things imported that I know. You having YouTube videos of your business is what initially brought me to you. Well, there you go, right? So, I mean, there's different people. There's the YouTube people. There's people all over. But like I said, paywalls are not my style. I'm not going to do paywall stuff. But all content for free, always. That's always what it's going to be. But what I realized has happened for me anyways, is that over the years, I started doing beginner stuff and I got a bunch of beginners and those people have been with me for the whole time period. But then the new people that are coming in are sort of, they drink tea really well. And then they're realizing that I offer the best tea for the best price for Taiwanese tea anywhere in the world, basically, unless you come here and buy it in bulk from the actual producers of the tea. And so, I get emails from tea drinkers who've been drinking for years, and they're like, "How do you have this quality of tea for this price? How is it even possible? Are you lying?" And I get these emails regularly. And so the newer people that are coming in are tea drinkers. Yeah, I saw items, and they'd rip the seals off, all the boxes cut open. Yeah, for Australia, it can get really nasty. Although I haven't heard that too much about with the U.S. and with Canada. Knock on wood, of course. Knock on wood, of course. But maybe I should start doing beginner stuff again. Throwing beginner stuff out there. See if I can bring in some more people. Because obviously my style is not. There's two things I really, really dislike. Manipulating emotions in advertising. Like I hate that. And like people use their children and things like that. Like that's just wrong. It's just awful. And gatekeeping, right? So like I am the my lineage and I'm the only person who can get this tea and I am the things and you have to trust me. And those are the two types of things I absolutely hate when it comes to these types of things, right? Those are the two things that I just despise. So those are two things that I'm definitely not going to do. But that also, doesn't bring in a lot of new people, right? Because new people want easy answers, new people, and it's not a value judgment. That's just when you're getting into the tea, you want to know you're not getting ripped off, and you want to know the easy answers. And somebody asked me a question, what is milk oolong? Well, what do you mean by milk? Like it's what is milk oolong? Well, milk oolong is comes from the Taiwanese word nai xiang, right, which literally means the positive aspects of milk fat. And then I'll talk for 5 minutes about this. And then they go, do you add chemicals? And I'll be like, oh, that's what you were asking? No, I don't add any chemicals. That. And so should I do the whole thing where I go in and talk about these things? But anyways, that's with the U.S. Customs after de minimis ended. After it ended, well, I guess now because there's so few things going into the States, so few packages going into the States, the border people have to make it like that they're busy. So anything that actually is making through, they're probably just like stabbing it and writing their initials. I was here, like whereas before there was so many packages coming in that they were just like, whatever. Anyways, this too will pass, right? This too will pass. And Australia, Singapore, maybe some European spots as well. I should do some targeted advertising, perhaps, for those types of places. And maybe some content like that. Just really going after the people, right? They're really going after the people who do the bad things. Should I do controversy? So in Discord, I did this list of things like, and what to put in a book or new content. And one of them was my conflicts with other tea vendors. And I've had some conflicts with other tea vendors, but I never talk about it because it's not important. It's just, it was very little, and it's nothing bad. And people weren't all that interested in it. I was like, I like these people. These people, like I'm happy that my vibrations have attracted these people to the Discord server and to buy my tea, or not my tea, the tea that I collect and then share from my friends who make the tea. Just sneak Taiwanese tea into China to sell and Chinese tea into Taiwan to sell. Well, that's definitely something that I've definitely people have told me to do. But there is, as anybody who has done business in China knows, there's a catch to doing business with China. And at this point, I probably wouldn't want to go down that route. And who knows, maybe in 10, 15 years, maybe my children will if they decide to take on the Mountain Stream company. But the catches to do that are somebody like me who's been doing this for a very long time. If you read between the lines of what there's a very famous comedian fellow who's got, famous for the tea world. He's the famous guy selling tea, and he sells the Chinese tea. If you read between the lines, the culture. You know that he's not really the boss. He's not really the boss of his company. And that's all I'll say about that. That's all I'll say about that. He's not the boss of his company. And so for me, it's like, that's not really something that I would go on and do. That's not really something that I would, to make that trade-off. I don't think I'd make that trade-off. In fact, I know I wouldn't. But who knows? If things open up, if things, if we get a kumbaya future and everybody's holding hands, they're holding hands across the strait, I would love to sell tea into China, right? I would love to sell tea into China. And, But if we kumbaya it, then for sure. Absolutely, for sure. Anyways, maybe a monthly digital pamphlet magazine deep diving into specific topics, themes, and deeper and bigger dives. Well, that's definitely something that I've been thinking about. I think that'd be great. I think that'd be great. I think it would be. I think it'd be great to be able to sort of pull off that style of content creation. And I know this will make a lot of people aghast, but there's a lot of what's the best way to? I haven't leveraged it yet, but to be able to leverage AI into taking, say, for example, the content from a live stream and then giving it an outline where I just flesh in the details and making it into a blog post, I think would be a really good use of my time. I think it would be. And I slightly experimented with it the other day, which is terrifying. And but I wrote something like it was, I can't remember exactly what the details were, but I said, okay, write something in the voice of Mountain Stream Teas. And it was about 80%. It was about 80%. It was like, I can't remember. It was like, it wasn't product description. I forget exactly what it was, but it was like, or answer what an oolong is using the voice of Mountain Stream Teas. And it was like, I was like, oh my God. Because there is, right? There is like a voice. I write everything, all the content on every single thing, right? So the website, the Instagram, everything, it's all written by me. I write it all. And it was about 80% sort of my style, what the AI wrote. And to be able to sort of streamline that stuff into blog posts or various things like that is definitely something I should probably work into the workflow. Because some people read. I wish I read more. I recently went back into Dante's Inferno and was reading some of that to get some context of where we're going to be going in the next couple of years. But yeah, a monthly digital pamphlet, mini magazine, deep diving into topics and things like that. Definitely something that I could do get in a tea, take some pictures of it, do a live stream, talk about the story behind it, and then get the sort of an AI to summarize it into bullet points, and then for me turn that into sort of a blog post or something like that. So that's something that can be done. I've noticed many vendors basically copy pasting descriptions from ChatGPT with the same content and formatting it, and it can be quite obvious. I'm sure it's happening all over the place, especially with the sort of the not native English speakers. I'm sure it's happening all over the place. And I make a rule. One of my rules is I just don't look at what other people are doing. I just don't do it. I probably should, but I just don't do it. But I should, with particular bolding, flower language, and less commonly used punctuation. I'm sure it's happening all over the place, right? I'm sure it's happening all over the place. And that's sort of the thing where we go next, because this is the thing. Okay, you want to get deep into it? Let's get deep into it. Here's the thing that's coming next. These teas and teas like it are AI proof. There is no possible way, absolutely no possible way that an AI, even an AI robot, can create this, because it takes so many human characteristics, multi-generation, full sensory experiences, all the different things that come into making these teas is not AI replicable. And I doubt it ever would be, right? Because there is even, when they're using their hands, like a good baker has the stuff in their fingers, right? That create the good bread, because they use their hands to create the bread. And it's the same with tea. It's exactly the same with tea. The problem is that if you are not framing the narrative, the AIs are going to be so good at manipulating people that unless you are able to frame the narrative, stuff like this, because it's small and it's not leverageable by centralization, which, let's face it, that's what AI is. It's just centralization. It can be just sort of wiped away. It just won't be seen by consumers and people. And so that's something that I often think about, right? I often think about, okay, so what do I do? Do I get in there now and start talking about the AI stuff, right? Do I get in there and start talking about the AI stuff and sort of put this out there into it? Because there's this diverging economy that's going to happen with the AI. One side is human connection, human interactions, things made by humans, and this economy is going to get really quite big. And then the other side of it is the email culture, the things that can just be automated, and that's also going to get really big. And so the things in the middle that were like people doing things that can be automated is just going to disappear. It's just gone. And that's like 75% of the economy is the stuff in the middle. And so I know that having this tea and being able to sell this tea, being able to share this tea, being able to offer this tea and the stories of these teas, and just the experience of drinking these teas is wildly and exceptionally human. And you cannot fake it, right? You cannot fake it. And it's also quite a small section of humanity that will have access to these things, will know about them, but the demand for it is going to rise. And so I'm trying to figure out how best to navigate that, right? Because right now I'm not touching the AI, right? I'm just not touching it. I study it. I deeply understand the nature of AI and where it's going and what it's going to do, and the future of it. But I haven't quite figured out how the hell to deal with it, mostly because it changes every 2 weeks. And until it plateaus, so basically the way it works is you got this line, this is human intelligence, and then the AI is like, here, it's just reached human intelligence. And so for all this time period, there's been this huge amount of change. Once it reaches here and goes above it, we won't be able to perceive what happens above human intelligence, right? AGI, ASI, doesn't matter. We won't be able to perceive it. We just won't understand it. We won't be capable of understanding it. And once that happens, the change is going to sort of stable out, right? Once that gets integrated. And that hasn't happened yet. So for me, in my business and the way I'm doing things, it's really, 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 really it's really, really tough for me to be able to know how to navigate that as it comes into the future. But, the good news is there will be a market for this style of tea, right? If I was selling cheap, crappy widgets, I would be very, very scared, right? I'd be very, very scared. But because of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it and things like that, there'll always be a market for this tea somewhere. And there'll be a way to share it. But how best to deal with sort of the AI stuff, I don't know. And having two young boys, like my oldest Like their screen time is controlled, right? We're full on Zuckerberg and all the famous guys, right? No screen time. There's a period of my life where I spent my days with the highest echelons of the world economy, and the CEOs, the CTOs. Well, they didn't really have CTOs back then, but all of these people, like the highest echelon of people. And there was this very, 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 very specific thing that I figured out as I spent time with these people and their families. The higher up the organization they got, the lower the amount of screen time their children had. Higher up the organization, the more you could see down on what they were doing. And I took out Facebook employees, Microsoft employees, Cisco Systems, Dropbox people, like every single possible thing 10 years ago, all of these companies that you could imagine, every single one, Twitter employees, everybody. I spent time with them. The further up the organization they were, the less their children spent on screens, straight up. But now my kids are getting older, and so like we go to places and they just haven't been, what did Musk said the other day? He called it one-shotting the limbic system. And by that, he means that AI sexuality will be so manipulative that it'll just one shot. And I'm realizing now, because I've controlled my boys so well, we go to places, we go on a trip somewhere, and it'll be like this awful sexualized stuff. Anyways, what's the point? AI, I don't know how to deal with it yet. And I don't think we'll all really know how to deal with it yet until the really bad stuff happens. And then we walk back from the bad stuff. And let's, cheers, it's hoping the bad stuff isn't as bad as it possibly could be. Let's hope it's not. Let's hope it's there's a limited dropping of the atomic bomb somewhere, and then everybody goes, "Holy crap!" and backs off. Let's hope it's something like that. Let's also hope we don't need to go through a world war to get there. Anyways, we've gone down some tangents today, haven't we? Anyway, some last thoughts about anything. Again, in the comments, ideas of stuff that I could do, please let me know. Some content that you'd like to see. Mr. Hooper here is very nice, talking about an idea where it would be like a weekly or a monthly thing, where there would be sort of a deep dive into context, terroir or cultivars, things like that. Sort of like a deep dive newsletter type of thing, which probably wouldn't be that hard to do. And depending on how insane and stupid and self-defeating the American sort of tariff rules are, I might have some time on my hands. So maybe I could do like 3 or 4 of them and then launch them once a month, something like that. What is some content that you'd like to see? I've got to start thinking about what it would be, because I probably will have some time on my hands. I think I'm definitely, if you're an American, please don't take it personally. If you see that I'm offering discounts for other places, we have to keep the lights on. so there might be discounts for Australia or Singapore or Japan, places where I ship tea where the shipping is less. So I might be doing some targeted advertisements to those places. And yeah, please don't be, I mean, I'll do the sales eventually, right, for everybody, but I think I might have to do some targeted advertising to various places while the American cluster fornication works itself out. Anyways, but that's it for now. Any last call for questions or anything like that? Might be worth mentioning to travelers that you can have your package delivered to their hotel. Yeah. I mean, if they come to American Travelers, yeah. I mean, I could definitely send it to the hotels. It's so cheap to ship anything in Taiwan. I've already promised a couple of people who are coming in the fall that I'm going to meet up with them. So meet up with some people for the first time in years. So I probably will start putting out, like if travelers come to Taiwan, I'll do some tea trips, some day trips to the tea gardens here in Hualien. So if you want to come down to visit Hualien, then I can take you out to some tea tours. Remember, I used to be a guide for many years. So I'll probably introduce that up again. But yeah, stuff like that. Something to do with all of my free time. But yeah, last call for questions for anything. I guess if anybody has made it this far, if anybody has recommendations for target-specific advertisements, then let me know. And I don't know, I guess maybe Facebook again. Facebook and Instagram. I don't know. In general, I don't do advertisements. So it's going to be, it's a whole new world, brand new world. I'll walk in and hopefully it'll be okay. But anyways, I think that's it for now. So a little bit of a strange live stream today, but with all this time on my hands, I've got so much thinking. But anyways, wherever you are out there, I certainly hope you have an amazing night and evening. I hope you sleep well. Have a great day tomorrow. Have a great day for the rest of today. And thank you for watching. Is it cheap to deliver to Taiwan? Absolutely. Yeah. So I'll do some advertisements to Japan. That'll be a weird one. Figure out how to do that. But did I translate into Japanese? Anyways, whatever. Yeah, it's cheap to ship to Japan. Anyways, I will talk to you all later. Have an absolutely wonderful time until we meet again. See you next live stream.